Hello and welcome back to Purple in Peril, Warlock Life, level 7. Enhancements, I have rejigged to be able to take the Cone Blast now. So we've got 3 cores in Soul Eater, along with these 2 spell-like abilities, Stricken and Consume, which you have on your bar, and if you just right click them you can add for free all the meta magics we've got. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention that at level 6 we had a feat and I took Empower for 75 more spell power for free on these spell-like abilities. If you didn't know, Maximize is 150 extra spell power and Empower is 75, so we've got what have we got? 225 bonus spell power on these, so at low levels especially these are seriously good, especially when you're adding them to spell-like abilities. I wouldn't recommend you add them to regular spells too much, if at all, at the early levels, because you're going to run out of spell points very quickly. Maximizing a regular spell costs you 25 extra mana, which in many cases in the early ones might be more than the spell itself is costing. So I would be very careful with that and just set the meta magics on your spell-like abilities to start with. These 2 are heavy hitting single target damages, so if we happen to see a Reaper or some nasty boss or something, we can unload these on them and hopefully kill them fairly quickly. The Cone Blast is very good, as I mentioned. I'll try and demonstrate that in the course of the next quest. I've chosen it specially to sort of demonstrate the strength of the cone. We've retained nearly everything that was nice in this tree. Of course I haven't got the chain anymore, and we're missing 1 point in feigned health, but that's not too bad. I think we can live with that for now. I'll put it back when the points allow. No new gear at 7, but we do have 2 important scrolls here. Teleport is nice for getting about, and the Raised Dead, I would need more UMD to be able to cast that reliably. As you can see, I have only a 30% chance. Now, had we put points into UMD, more than just the one I have, I think we could comfortably be using those by now. You can see that I could have had up to 10 points in there. The only reason I'm not doing it, as I mentioned before, by the time I get to the cap I'll have enough UMD anyway without investing any more than this 1 point to be able to cast any scrolls that I want. So I'm kind of sacrificing early level performance here to be able to spend points in other areas. In my case, Intimidate, Spellcraft, Concentration. But I've shown you those before anyway. Aside from the scrolls, I think that's it. The scrolls and the enhancements. Yep, there was nothing else I wanted to mention at this level. So we'll go ahead and get stuck into the quest. This is Irestone Inlet in the harbour. It's the first one that's part of the Pirates saga, which is mostly based in House Dinnith. So it's a good one to do. I'll try and demonstrate during the course of this how strong both the web still is and the Cone Blast that we've just acquired. This is definitely a quest where you would want cone rather than chain. For many of them, like some of the ones in the marketplace where things are coming at you in 2s and 3s, chain's as good if not better, in my opinion. But the cone is the way to go for this one.
The gruff voices of hobgoblins can be heard nearby.
Yeah, I thought there were 2 there we couldn't see. I think that'll be a recurring theme in this one. I've taken Quicken off the 2 spells that we use regular because this is a long quest and we're going to end up running out. Fear Reaper at the back there, that needs to go. We just basically set a web in the middle of the group and circle round it, try and drag as many into the web as possible and chip away at them with the cone. Don't forget, as I often do, to talk to each crew member, because that's part of the quest objective. You get constantly wandering and respawning opponents in the middle of the maps. Again, Fear Reaper, let's target that with the big attacks.
At a cook pot in the back of the camp, kobolds wish to kobold cooks. Start on flails in agony, then stops moving altogether.
There's no crew member to talk to here. The targeting on the stricken and consume can be a bit hit and miss. Basically, just like the enemy spells and arrows, it targets where the opponent is at a specific moment in time and doesn't follow. So if I just like to highlight where the shrine is there, because that's also the end of the quest. And the map's quite big, so I like to know where I'm coming back to. Yes, if the enemy moves after you've sent the stricken or consuming, it's not going to hit it. Oh yeah, see there, I nearly forgot the person. Can be an optional here. If you notice a chest to the right as you're passing through here, it would be about here. It's not there. There's an optional dog to kill for an extra chest. I think the dog's called Mutiny. Appropriately enough for a pirate-themed adventure. So I'm trying to keep moving to put the archers off the target and just kite as many things as I can into the webs. Oh crikey, okay. Let's get the carnage first. And that's another reason to keep moving. Those AoEs can be nasty. So any opposing casters, clerics, whatever, with that what is it, fire spell, the what's it called? It's not Firestorm, it's the one at the earlier levels. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's painful. Another one spoken to. It's telling us in the top right corner we've got 4 more left to speak to. Sorry, 3 now. Fear Reaper you either want to be a long way away from, as I'm trying here, or you want to be right up close to it. Anything in between, you start taking the ticking damage over time from its aura, and that's not good. This kind of stuff, ray of enfeeblement, you can get rid of with the lesser restoration potions, if you didn't know. Anything like that, fatigue, enfeeblement, exhausted, lesser resto will clear that for you.
Stinks unmistakably. Dinks, the first mate of the Bomb Raider, has fought his last battle.
So another pitfall I've gone into often. Click on this parchment. If you don't click on the parchment, the quest doesn't progress. So now we've clicked on that, we can start collecting these powder kegs to take back to the ship and complete the mission at the end. So each group we see now, I've got to remember, as well as to talk to the person, to collect the powder things. And am I going the wrong way again? Yes, what a surprise. Okay, talk to the person. A couple of chests here because there was an optional boss in there. And now we need to start collecting, 3 chests in fact. Now we need to start collecting these powder kegs. So the last person to speak to is just over here in this group.
You have saved at least 2 minutes from
Okay, so that's telling us we've done that. Now we've got to find another 2 powder kegs. I think is there one over there? Or is that 2? No, that's just 1, okay. I think there's 1 here. 2 even. Okay.
You have found 6 powder kegs.
So now we're going back to the ship.
Yar's schooner while he's ashore. Yar's schooner has been discovered at the end of the inlet. Yar would be stranded without it. The small vessel barely looks seaworthy. The draft of Yar's flagship must be too deep to anchor in such shallow waters.
Click on each one. And then on the torch here.
Yar's
Am I good to go?
has been transformed into a floating bomb. You hear a bellowing voice not far away. Probably Yar realizing he's stuck ashore.
Shortly after the ship blows up, we'll get a group of opponents converging on our position, and one of which will be the end boss. There you go. Now all we have to do is go back to the shrine I marked Try and do a bit of invis so they don't chase us too enthusiastically.
Staintusk howls in triumph.
And that's us done.
The Banshee's avenged. 3 cheers for our bonny rescuers.
Thank you very much for looking, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care.